Part 1. The Subtle Unease. The soft glow of the ultrasound screen illuminated Dr. Eris Thorne's face, a placid mask of professional calm. "Everything looks perfectly normal, Mrs. Davison," he murmured, his voice a low, reassuring hum. "A strong heartbeat, healthy development. You're due in about 3 months." Sarah Davison, her hand resting protectively over her swollen belly, offered a watery smile. "Thank goodness, doctor. I've just felt a little off. More than just pregnancy jitters, you know?" Dr. Thorne nodded, making a note on his chart. First-time mothers often feel that way. It's a big change. He didn't mention the subtle chill that seemed to emanate from Sarah's womb, or the way the equipment had flickered almost imperceptibly a moment ago. He put it down to an aging machine. Part 2. Elias Croft's growing suspicions. Across town, in a dusty, cluttered attic, Elias Croft, a man whose life revolved around deciphering forgotten texts and debunking paranormal hoaxes, felt a shiver run down his spine. His eyes, magnified by thick glasses, scanned an ancient, brittle manuscript. It spoke of Xylos, a world cloaked in perpetual twilight, its inhabitants sustained by the life force of other beings. A myth, of course. Yet a nagging unease gnawed at him. The recent uptick in unexplained disappearances, always around pregnant women, was a disturbing coincidence. Part 3. Sarah's peculiar cravings. As weeks turned into a month, Sarah's off feeling intensified. She craved raw meat, not just a little, but an insatiable hunger that startled her. Her usually fair skin was now almost translucent, and she found herself shunning the sunlight, preferring the cool, dim quiet of her bedroom. Her husband, Mark, noticed her growing pallor, the faint, almost imperceptible gleam in her eyes when she looked at him. He attributed it to exhaustion. "You need more rest, love," he'd say, gently urging her to nap. One evening, Mark was preparing dinner when he heard a strange sound from the nursery they'd set up. A low, guttural growl, followed by a soft whimper. He rushed in to find Sarah staring at the crib, her expression unreadable. "Did you hear that?" she whispered, her voice strangely flat. Mark had heard nothing. He put it down to pregnancy dreams. Part 4. The pieces begin to connect. Elias Croft found another piece of the puzzle. An old newspaper clipping detailed a series of unexplained livestock deaths in the 1800s, coinciding with the arrival of a mysterious, unidentifiable meteorite. The article spoke of animals drained of blood, no discernible wounds. He remembered the Xylos text, "The vessel arrives, heralded by a whisper of the void, bringing forth the hunger." He scoffed at the dramatic prose, but a prickle of fear traced its way up his spine. The meteorites, the disappearances, the craving for life force. It was all beginning to coalesce into a horrifying, unbelievable pattern. Part 5. The Unsettling Birth. The day Sarah went into labor was marked by an eerie stillness. The air hung heavy, the sky an unusual shade of bruised purple. In the delivery room, Dr. Thorne felt a bead of sweat trickle down his temple. The baby's heart rate was impossibly strong, almost too strong. Sarah's screams were primal, not just of pain, but of something else, something predatory. And then it was born. A silence fell over the room, broken only by the soft, rhythmic hum of the monitors. The baby was perfect, unnervingly so. Its skin was alabaster, its tiny fingers long and slender. But it was the eyes that caught Dr. Thorne's attention. They were a startling, luminous amber, far too knowing for a newborn. As the nurse went to swaddle the infant, it let out a soft, almost imperceptible hiss. A tiny, pinprick incision appeared on the nurse's arm. She blinked, attributing it to a snag from the blanket. Dr. Thorne, however, saw the rapid, almost imperceptible flush drain from her face. Part 6. Elias's horrifying realization. Elias burst into the hospital, breathless, the ancient texts clutched in his hand. He'd connected the dots, a terrifying tapestry woven from myth and unexplained phenomena. He raced down the corridor, muttering to himself, Xylos, the vessel they implant. They wait. They hatch. He reached Sarah's room just as Mark was cradling their newborn. The baby looked up, its amber eyes locking onto Elias. A shiver, colder than any he'd ever known, coursed through him. The baby smiled, a slow, deliberate movement that was utterly unnatural. And in that smile, Elias saw it, two tiny, almost invisible nubs behind its perfect gums. No one else saw them. Not Mark, not Sarah, not the nurse who was cooing over the beautiful baby. They just saw an angel. Elias, however, saw a whisper from the void, an echo of a hunger that had just arrived. The unborn baby from a vampire planet. It was here. And no one knew,